European Union Court. Today we'll be discussing the new income tax system that has been proposed. Now, as we all know, the European Union and the rest of the world is suffering from a very serious income distribution problem. Our income is distributed among society in a very unequal way. And we're going to demonstrate that by first getting the maths out of the way, and then we'll allow the attorneys to come up and give their case. Now, first of all, this is a very typical Lorenz graph. Here we have 0, and on the x-axis is the percentage of the population of a given country, where in the y-axis is the percentage of the income in that given nation. Now, this straight line with a slope of 1 is the perfect distribution line, which would mean that the 20% of the population has 20% of the income, and 80% of the population also has 80% of the income. This is the Lorenz curve for a given nation. As you can see, it slightly deviates away from the perfect distribution line. In this case, for example, you can see that 80% of the population would have much less than 80% of the income. This is a more common way that countries run, and the reason why is because it also gives incentives to work. So all countries have a small amount of income distribution, but we fear it's getting too large. Now, the way to calculate the Gini coefficient is this area between the Lorenz curve and the perfect distribution line over the total area. Now, as we all know, our current tax system is all split into income brackets. And as we know, these brackets are based on numbers, such as 0 to 12,000, you pay a certain percentage. And our maximum tax bracket here in Spain, where the conference is being held, is 60,000 euros or more. However, there's people who earn over 9 figures a year. So our new system plans to change from our tax brackets from simply numbers, so 0 to 12,000 pay a certain percentage, to now be based on income distribution, so that the top 1% pays a certain amount of tax, the next 5%, and so forth. You may now be seated. First, we'll get the defendant's arguments. Please come up.
So if we put a higher percentage on the tax, it will reduce the population's incentive to work. People will be less incentivized to try to earn a higher income.
Now let's hear the opposing argument.
Not everyone is given the same opportunity, meaning that, for example, if you earn more, doesn't mean that you actually have worked harder.
I actually get what you mean, Arantxa, but I feel that hardworking people should not be punished for actually making their way through society and actually be amongst the highest earners in the country. They should not be punished.
So the countries who need it the most are those with the highest income inequality, and are the ones that are losing the most potential tax revenue.
A higher tax revenue will only increase the quality of life in countries where the government is using the tax revenue for public benefits such as education, healthcare, and also transportation systems for the population.
So after taking both arguments into account and looking at the votes from everybody here, we've decided that although the argument is very constructive for society, it's simply hard to implement and too complex. So for that reason, we'll keep the current tax system the way it is.